Insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle. The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Good morning, Katipuneros. Good morning to all of you, Athenians, here and outside of the campus, here and abroad. Good morning, and welcome to our show here at Radyo Katipunan 87.9. This is the Jesuit Hour, and I'm your host, Father Nono Alfonso S.J. So how has your day been so far, mga Katipuneros? Umagang-umaga po. This is the first day of the week, May 7, 2018, and of course, it's Manic Monday for all of us. Good morning to all of you, and of course, shout out our greetings to our televiewers or Facebookers based in the USA and Canada, our Ateneo Alumni Associations. Thank you so much for tuning in always. Okay, and of course, we start our morning by our prayer, and we take our prayer from Father James Kubiki's A Year of Daily Offerings. And today, here's his reflection and prayer. May 7. Most of the 10 commandments prohibit immoral actions. Only 2 are positive directives. The third is, remember to keep holy the Sabbath day. In other words, remember to honor your Heavenly Father in a special way every week. The fourth is directed toward our earthly parents. Honor your father and your mother. Surely Jesus, who is the all-holy Son of God and without sin, followed all the commandments, including this one, by honoring his parents, his earthly mother and foster father. And if we as Christians are to imitate Jesus, shouldn't we follow the example of Jesus and honor his mother? Jesus honored Mary, and following his example, we also honor her. This means doing whatever she asks us to do. According to John, the Gospel of John, the first miraculous sign that Jesus gave to the world was in response to Mary's compassion. Jesus, his disciples, and Mary were guests at the wedding feast in Cana. Mary observed that the wine had run out, and she, concerned for the bride and groom, brought this fact to Jesus' attention. Jesus told her that his hour had not yet come. But Mary, knowing the compassion that the son she had raised had for others, told the servers, do whatever he tells you. She knew he would respond to the need. Honoring Mary as Jesus did means following her directions to do whatever Jesus tells me to do. And so we pray, Father, help me follow your Son by honoring and obeying Mary and doing whatever your Son wants me to do today. Amen. And so that's our morning prayer, my dear friends. As we say, May, of course, is the month of Mary. Mary who pleads for us. Yes, and so do whatever he tells you. She tells the servants. And so, like the servants, we should be following our Lord. Thank you so much. We have a mother, the Blessed Virgin Mary. Yes, and so, my dear friends, we will be right back. We have guests, and we are international, global this morning because we have foreign guests or guests from foreign countries. Jesuits who will tell us their vocation story or how they were called by God. Yes, and we will be right back to introduce them. Just a little while. Sandali lamang po.
The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour. rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit music ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Be inspired, informed, and ignited. The Ateneo Way, a Radyo Katipunan feature that talks about values, art, books, culture, and ideas that matter a lot to many Ateneans. Hosted by Dennis Temporal of the Ateneo School of Humanities. This is the Ateneo Way.
We stand on a hill.
Basil Valdez, the Apo Hiking Society, Parokya ni Edgar, Bukas Palad, the Ateneo Glee Club, and many more. All homegrown talents at the Ateneo de Manila University. Get to know the current music environment at the Ateneo. Tune in to Himig Ateneo. Himig Ateneo. Listen to the Blue Eagles sing. Himig Ateneo. Looking forward to a relaxing weekend? Why not jumpstart that with our Blue Brew? Enjoy our musical mix of pop, jazz, and OPM that Ateneans enjoy. Revel in the modern, the retro, or simply the latest trend in town. Sit back, relax, and listen to your favorite sounds in and around the metro. Whatever you like, we have it in the Blue Brew. Start the weekend right every Friday, 5 to 6 in the evening. The Blue Brew. The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
And we're back here at the Jesuit Hour, yes. And as I mentioned, for those of you who are watching us through Facebook Live, you can already see we have guests. Okay, they're from different parts of the world, and we are very fortunate, and we thank them for guesting our show. This is, of course, Monday. This is the Jesuit Hour, and this is also Vocation Hour. Our sponsor is the Vocations Promotions team of the Philippine Jesuits. Yes, so let me introduce first. On my right, we have from Italy. Wow, from Italy, Cesaro. Is that how you...
Cesare. Cesare.
Cesare? Cesare?
Yes.
Wow, it's like Caesar.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, Cesare. Okay, buongiorno.
Exactly. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Arrivederci. That's goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too early for that.
Okay, and beside him is Lawrence from Myanmar. Yes, Lawrence. Would you like to greet your fans at Arupe?
I'll say hi, hello.
Hi, hello, yes.
Yeah, you guys know me. So.
Okay, and of course, he's been here before in this program, Mr. Or Brother James Santos. Yes.
Good morning to everyone.
Yes.
Sa lahat na nakikinig.
Okay, so you can talk in whatever language you want here. No, just kidding. Okay, so Cesare.
Yes.
Cesare. So how old are you, Cesare?
How?
How old are you?
33.
33?
Yeah.
Very young. Wow. And how long have you been in the Philippines?
It's my first year.
First.
I arrived last July of last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So how has it been for you so far?
Good. No, It's good. I am appreciating a lot. I've just
Uh-huh.
to get used to the weather. The
The
weather
weather,
is just
yeah.
the toughest part.
Yeah. Well, around this time of the year, it's summer. It's really hot. Okay. So you're doing what stage of formation are you in?
I've started now, but now I'm finishing my first year of theology.
First year theology.
STB, yeah,
Yes.
baccalaureate.
So before the Philippines, you've been studying in Italy. Only
Yes,
Italy.
all my formation as a Jesuit was in Italy. I had my novitiate in Genova, that is in the northwest part.
Uh-huh.
Philosophy in Padova and Rome.
Uh-huh.
And then Regency I had in Palermo, Sicily.
Oh, but
Yeah.
which part of the country, Italy, are you from?
I am from the northeast. It's a town called Vicenza. It's near Venice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You may want to greet our... There are many Filipinos in Italy, correct?
Yes,
You-
many.
How do you say good morning and mahal ko kayo in Italian?
Mahal ko kayo?
I love you.
I love you.
You haven't
Buongiorno.
learned that.
I still have to learn a lot of things.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, vi amo tutti.
Vi amo
È un vero piacere potervi salutare dalle Filippine.
Si. Is that
Yeah,
It's
it's,
not si.
really a pleasure to greet you from Philippines.
It's not si. Si is in Spanish, correct?
Yeah.
So how do you say yes in
No, it's si. It's the
si
same.
also.
Si.
Okay, so let's turn to Lawrence. Lawrence, so how long have you been in the Philippines?
Okay. So I also came back to the Philippines.
Please go nearer the mic.
Last July.
Last July, okay.
So,
Ah,
this
so
almost
it's
a
at the same
year-
time,
yes,
yeah,
at the same
uh-huh.
time. But before that, I did my philosophy studies here in the.
2 years.
Actually, I did 4 years.
4 years.
And including my juniorate program for 2 years.
Yes.
So I was here in the Philippines
Ah.
for
So
6
you're no
years.
longer a stranger. You're no longer a foreigner here, yeah?
This is almost like my second home already.
Yes,
in the
of
Philippines.
course.
Yes.
From which part of the country of Myanmar are you?
I come from what's called the Chin State, the northwestern part of the country, closer to India and also Bangladesh. So there.
And so you're also here studying theology.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Are you
also
by
studying-
your lonesome? Are you the only scholastic from Myanmar?
No, not
How
at
many?
all. Actually, we are the second biggest group in
Oh,
the community.
how many?
9 of us.
9. Wow, very good. My God, we should
Many
employ.
vocations.
Yes, and you know Myanmar's reputation. They have very good football team. Correct?
Yes.
You
Only if
you
you
hesitated.
Only if it is within Asia. Not
Yes,
even,
yes,
Not
yes.
even in Asia, not like Japan,
Oh
Korea.
yeah, they're very pro.
way better
But
than
no, for Ateneo, we should recruit you for Ateneo
Yes.
because we have a UAAP competition here among the colleges and universities.
Oh, I used to play with them while I
Oh,
was
see?
doing my philosophy.
Yes. Okay. So let's have a shout out to our coach here at the Ateneo football team. Yes. What about, are you by your lonesome, Cesare?
What? By?
Are you on the only?
The only one, yeah.
Wow.
Only Italian, only European in this moment in Aruba.
Yeah.
Except for Father Nicolas.
Of course.
Yeah.
But why did you choose the Philippines or Arupe International?
Well, it was a proposal by my provincial, because usually we Italian Jesuit, we used to study theology, not in Italy, but in another European country, usually or Spain or France. But in my case, he wanted to ask me, as he already asked to another scholastic some years before, to study outside of Europe, to have this,
yes.
this experience out of Europe. So he gave me some possibilities, some choices, and we talked together, we decided, and finally we focused on the Philippines.
So it was not your choice.
Not from the beginning. Finally, yes.
An act of obedience.
It was more an act of obedience, according to our friend here, James. Yeah, but is this your first time in the Philippines?
First time in the Philippines, first time in Asia.
In Asia, wow.
Completely unknown world for me at the beginning.
So when you were assigned to go to the Philippines,
Yeah.
did you have any fears?
Well, I didn't have so many fears because I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
I had no expectation because I had never experienced of this part of the world, and I had no idea. Also, among Italian Jesuits, I mean, in the current Italian province, very few have been here.
Oh, yes.
So
wow.
I didn't have so many
The
stories.
Pope was here.
The Pope, yeah, has been here, but was not among my ordinary friends.
He's a Jesuit.
Yeah.
So, and, but do you know of any Filipino in Italy?
Yes, I have met some Filipinos in Italy, also a Filipino Jesuit, and Father Michael Portia.
Mark Portia,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
finishing his
Yeah.
degree in psychology
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I hope you enjoy your. How many years will you be here? 4 years, right?
4 years.
And you're already almost done with the first year in theology.
Yes.
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 Okay, so of course, Lawrence, you've been here before. Yes. But was it also your choice to do theology here? Or,
Yes. Actually, I was.
you know, all of this is recorded. We can send this to your superiors.
Yes, I know. I was sent to Rome actually to do my theology.
yes.
I stayed there for a year. I studied in the Greek for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided I miss the Philippines.
No.
So I said,
Really now?
I asked my superior, please let me go back to the Philippines. So they sent me back here. So yeah, here I am.
Yes. Okay, James, perhaps, just to refresh the memory of our viewers, what stage of formation are you now in?
I just finished the juniorate or the first studies.
Yes,
program.
congratulations.
Yes,
Ah.
just last week. So transitioning to philosophy.
Philosophy, yeah.
Yeah. So-
Are you excited?
Yes, and a bit nervous because in my case I already had philosophy in the seminary before. So some of the subjects I think they'll be allowing me to take education units.
Ah, yes,
Yes.
because you've taken a philosophy before.
already
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Oh, wow. So,
That's
yes.
my undergrad.
Yeah, okay. So you will pass the philo subjects here easily.
Hopefully, yes, Father. But it's different, of course, here in Ateneo.
Okay. So, your first impressions of the Philippines, the people, our culture, aside from the weather, of course.
Yeah.
You already told us about your.
No, I was really impressed. Well, I already noticed when I was in Italy by the how friendly our Filipinos. Very friendly, very
Yeah.
warm people, and I really felt welcomed here. I really felt welcomed as soon as I arrived. I remember also my ride with a taxi coming from the airport for the first time to Arupe. For me, it was really impressive because I really realized that I was actually in a very different world. Yeah.
Why do you say that? You said two things there. That it was impressive ride,
Yeah.
and you realized that it was a different country. Why?
Yeah, because it was strange. I had this feeling also after some weeks. But in a way, I saw many things, but it seemed to be in a Western country. But for other ways, I realized no, this is not West. This is really Asia. And but I had to realize. I realized very slowly, step by step.
I thought the taxi driver charged you.
Not too much. Not too much. Expensive, but not too much.
Okay. What about you, Lawrence? You've been here before, but the Philippine culture, how does that compare to the culture in Myanmar, also an Asian country?
I would say it's really different.
Really?
Even my own country's
Yeah.
culture. To be precise, I think the Filipino culture, unless you go to provinces, like Cesare says, it gives you a sense of the West.
We're very
culture,
Western.
yes.
Yes, we were colonized, of course, 300 or 400 years under Spain, and then U.S. as well, 50 years or so. So we're very Westernized.
But I've been to provinces, different places like Mindanao, Bukidnon, Mirayan. The culture there is very distinct.
Yeah.
It feels really Asia.
Yes,
and it's
yes,
very
yes.
beautiful as well.
Yes.
My own culture is also in a sense distinct and good, and also it's beautiful. So I guess in Asia we have this
Diverse
unity
cultures.
of diverse,
Yeah,
you know,
diversity.
cultures and diversity. So
Have you
that,
brought Cesare to our tourist, places? Have you been around?
Somewhere, yeah. We were just. I was just in Tagaytay, Taal Volcano, and Baguio, and I went also with a Burmese group. We went have a little holiday in Anawangin called Zambales.
Zambales.
Yeah.
Zambales is beautiful.
Yeah, very nice place.
But you haven't been to Mindanao.
Not yet.
Don't go. You'll be kidnapped.
They told me so.
no, it's safe. It's
Just
okay
kidding.
now.
Just kidding. It's now safe because there's martial law in Mindanao. So yeah, it's safer. Okay. I'll just greet our viewers. So we would like to say good morning to Jenny, to the Bukas Palad Online Community Choir, to Joanna, to Cynthia, to Kathy, and to Paul and Julius. Good morning to all of you. Okay, so let's be serious for a while. So tell us, and because this is the vocation hour, and tulungan mo ako dito ha.
Oh, yes, brother.
So can you tell us when and how did you hear the call to the Society of Jesus? Yes,
Yeah.
Cesare.
No, I was saying that my vocational story is a little complicated because my calling to the society has been quite late, I can say.
At 33, that's already late? Come on.
25 years, I can say, 25, 26 years. But my vocational story is much older than that because I started to have my first desires for religious life when I was 12, 13 years old.
So what happened?
Well, actually, I was raised as, of course, in a Catholic country. I was raised as a Catholic child, but my family is a Catholic family, but not so practicing. We don't practice so much.
Yeah.
So I had a basic Christian education. When I was a kid, I had this experience. I was 11, 12 years old. I went to a summer camp with other kids. And it was my first time that I was away from home for a long time. And I was completely alone. I didn't know anybody. I was a very shy kid. So
how many are you in the family?
we are just four.
Four.
Yeah, I have a sister, older sister, my father and my
There's two siblings.
Yeah,
Two children.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
what happened in that camp?
It happened that I felt, for the first time, I felt really alone. It wasn't a good experience for me, actually.
I thought that was the turning point.
But it was also a turning point because in my feeling alone for the first time, I prayed. I have this deep experience of prayer as a dialogue for the first time because when
you were desperate.
Yeah. Because I was really sad. I was desperate for loneliness.
Yeah.
But in this dialogue, I still remember in a very strong way.
Yeah.
I had a deep experience of consolation, of a presence. So there was a presence that I wasn't speak just to the wall in my prayers. And so for the first time, I remember I started to think, how can I say thanks to God for this presence?
Wow.
And for the first time, I was thinking, maybe I could become a priest. I thought becoming a priest because I had the example of my parish priests in my parish. But after that, I started to be attracted, some years later, especially by religious life. And especially from the Franciscans, because in Italy, there are a lot of Franciscans. It's the model of religious life in Italy usually.
Yeah, they control the Roman Curia. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, not exactly.
I'll get myself in trouble here.
More Salesians, just kidding. Okay. And so for many years, that was my dream actually, to become a Franciscan. Yeah.
But you started thinking about how to repay the Lord for saving you from loneliness, or for listening to you during that time of
But was
prayer?
the beginning,
Yeah, that was the beginning.
Yeah.
And so, did you talk about that with your parents?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, already when I was 14, I remember, because I was finishing my, we have a different scholastic system. We have, in Italy, we have middle school. When you are 14, you finish middle school, we call
Yeah.
it, and we start high school.
Yeah.
I remember at that time in my city, in the seminary of my city, there was the high school also.
Yeah.
And I already talked to my mother because I wanted to go to the high school, to the
seminary,
to
yes.
the seminary of my diocese. But she said, absolutely no.
No. Oh, wow.
You go to a normal school, and maybe when you will finish high school, we'll see.
What about your father? Was
My
he-
father, all the same. He was the same mind.
Here,
yeah.
you know, here in the Philippines, we have the families
Yeah.
would say that the sons are there to perpetuate the name of the family, you know, to continue the name.
Yeah.
You're the only boy, so
Actually, also for my parents, it was something
do
like
you
that.
have like that also
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
Italy?
Especially my family is quite traditional. in this
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, they were really concerned about the
Yes,
fact that I
you're
could, I could not marry, I could not.
So when your mother said no,
Yeah.
so what did you do? You accepted that, of course. You
yeah,
had a vow.
I was very young,
You
so
had a vow
I
of
was of course
obedience.
upset, but I obeyed.
Yeah.
But the problem was that also during the high school I had this contact with the Franciscan friars. I had a Franciscan spiritual director.
They're persistent.
Yeah. I continued. At the end of high school, I was already 18.
Yeah.
18, 19 years old. I wanted already to join the Franciscans.
Why the Franciscans? What is the attraction?
I was really attracted because of the character or figure
You
of
like
Saint
brown?
Francis.
Brown.
Not especially by the habit, but by the figure of Saint Francis.
Yes.
I was really attracted by
living
I read
with the poor, being
Yeah.
poor himself. Oh,
being
wow.
poor, being with the poor, that kind of poor
Simplicity
religious
of life.
simplicity of
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
I was really attracted because I read something about Saint Francis when I was 14,
Yeah,
15.
yeah,
I really
yeah.
was, I was attracted by
Yeah,
that.
my parish from where I come from here in the Philippines was also run by Franciscans, and they're very attractive. Yeah. Okay, so we will return to you later, but what about you, Lawrence? Tell us your vocation story. When and how did you hear the call?
Okay. Mine, I would say it's very ordinary in a way, to the point that it's extraordinarily ordinary.
Wow, very philosophical. Your philo teachers
Philosophy, you know?
would love you.
Okay. See, I grew up in a very remote area. It's my state is a very mountainous area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In terms of religious education, not much of it I received. The parish priest was there, and only the sisters, Franciscan sisters were there.
The dominant religion in Myanmar is Buddhism.
Yes.
Buddhism, yeah, okay.
They're about 75-80% of.
Oh, wow. And the Christians?
Very small.
Very small.
We make up about 5%
5.
altogether as Christians.
And the Catholics are
Catholics is,
smaller.
Smaller.
Okay.
We're not even. I don't think we're up 1%.
Your parents are Catholic?
Yes, my mom converted to Catholicism
From
after
Buddhism?
She married my dad.
Oh, wow.
Not a Buddhist. The whole family, they were practicing a sort of a natural religion.
Yes.
What we call animism.
Animism, yes, yes.
Spirit offerings.
Yes,
and
yes,
so on,
yes.
The spirit of the forest,
Yes,
the
yes.
river, the mountains,
Yeah.
sort of thing. So yeah, to be honest, I didn't have this inkling or desire, when I grew up to be a religious or to, in that matter, to become a priest. All I wanted was to grow up and make money and have
Wow, I like that.
I don't know, a family, you know.
Making money.
Yes. Yeah, that was my desire. And then I I finished my high school at home, and I asked my mom and dad that I want to be independent.
Oh, you wanted to leave them. Okay.
Yes.
How old were you then when you asked this? When you told them
18.
this?
I was 18.
18. By that time you're already done with
My
high school.
Yes.
Okay.
I finished my high school.
Uh-huh.
I was about to enter into college.
Okay.
So I said, I want to support myself and I want to work.
Yeah.
So my dad was for it. Of course, my mom wasn't very willing. I said,
Are you the youngest?
no.
How many are you in the family?
Very big.
Very big family.
Typical Asian families.
12.
Like, no, 7 of us.
7 children.
7. I'm just right in the middle, number 4.
Middle child. Oh,
Yes,
that's problematic child.
Very, very. I told you that's.
According to psychologists,
That's correct,
the middle
yes.
child. Okay.
I would just get into all sorts of troubles
Yes.
just to get attention. You know.
How many boys?
3.
3.
4 girls, 3 boys. 2 girls above me, 2 girls below me. 1 boy.
Oh,
above me.
you're
I said
really
just right in
You're
the
really
middle.
middle. Wow.
Yes. Maybe that's the reason why I wanted to leave them, so they would remember me and miss me. You know, that's one way to get attention from your mom and dad. Okay, so I left and I worked for about 2 years. And prior to coming into contact with the Jesuits, I have never heard of the name Jesuits or who the Jesuits are. But it so happened one Sunday I went to the Sunday Mass near the
So
church
you
there.
live in a Catholic parish?
No,
No.
I was with the Buddhist community.
Okay.
Maybe partly because of that, there was a desire to not miss Sunday masses. So I would always go to Sunday masses as I was working. So, and on that particular Sunday, I met my older friends from my hometown. It so happened they were doing their factory trial. They were already Jesuit novices. I didn't know. Yes. So and we were just casually chatting and conversing and asking about the experiences and what's going on with their lives, and they asked me about my life. And they talk about the Jesuits and their formation and who they were then. And something, after their sharing, something clicked.
Yes.
I felt there was a very strong attraction to this group of people who are called Jesuits.
Yeah.
So I said, I think I wanted to try this.
Yeah.
So that's actually how it started. I think I said that a while ago. For me, there was no attraction to this religious life of priesthood as I grew up. But I would say that there was always this desire, if you like, a holy desire to do good or to help people.
Yeah.
As I grew up now, my country then was under military dictatorship.
Yes.
So it's a very oppressive society.
I'm a great fan of Aung San Suu Kyi.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We studied her when I was in college. I took up political science, and
Oh wow. okay.
so I was
Okay,
studying
that's
her
good.
life. Yeah. Okay, so who's the first Jesuit you got to know?
Aside from these novices,
Yes.
Father Clay Pierre
Okay.
from Indonesia.
Okay.
He was in fact the first missionary to come back to Myanmar after 19, let's say 60s. The Jesuits were expelled from Myanmar. No? They were just there teaching.
And they were expelled. Yes.
I met him, and I hope he will not be very embarrassed if I say this. I was shocked because
It's not extraordinary. Yeah.
yeah,
People are shocked by us. Yes.
because I grew up in a very, I would say,
Conservative,
conservative.
yes,
Because you are surrounded by other religious groups.
Uh-huh.
So you always are very conscious about your own religion and your own faith. And we're very conservative. And this priest, this Jesuit, came in to say Mass with shorts.
In shorts?
Yes. I
Oh,
was
wow.
like,
Wow.
they were saying, I was like, where is the priest? And the candidates then told me, that's the priest.
So this was the Indonesian Jesuit
Yes.
priest. Yes. Okay.
But I think somehow that wasn't a very negative impact, no, to say. That even more kind of
yeah.
fire
Draw
my
you, yeah,
yes, desire, no, to try.
Uh-huh.
So actually, that's how it all
Oh, wow.
started.
Because of a Jesuit priest in shorts.
Yes.
If an Indonesian Jesuit can shock you, how much more an Italian Jesuit?
Yeah, you I get to meet them, and after that I think they were fine. After
Yes.
that initial shock, the
You. Yeah.
rest seems to be normal.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's how it started for me. So I tried and I was accepted.
Okay.
I said I wanted to try this. So my parish priest actually, he was very gracious and kind to bring me to the candidate.
What about your
house.
parents? Did they give their consent or?
After I joined the candidacy program, after 6 months of joining, I informed them.
Ah,
They didn't know.
cheating.
I called them and said, I called my mom and said, Mom, I'm no longer working, but I'm with a group of people who are called Jesuits. And she was confused.
Why them? Why them? Why not the Franciscans?
Partly because she didn't know who the Jesuits
Yeah,
were.
yeah,
No?
yeah.
So,
It's a cult. It's an occult
Exactly.
group. Okay, so you know, of course, the story of James. You know his vocation. Oh my God, you should talk to him. He already shared in this radio program. Yes, his family was. You remember Hayan, Yolanda here. His family. How many members of the family?
My parents, 2 of them,
His parents died in that. Yeah.
were among the victims.
Yeah. So, in fact, it was a very tearful program because of him. Because he never saw the remains of his parents. Correct?
Yes.
So, anyway, condolence again, James. But he has a wonderful vocation story. It will make you cry. Yeah, okay? So, you should talk to him over lunch. Anyway, so we go back to Cesare. So you were attracted to the Franciscans, and and yet your mother said no, not yet. So what happened?
So during all my high school, I continued to have to meet regularly with Franciscan friar, to have some vocational activities also with them.
Yeah.
And so when I was finishing, I was 18, 19, I decided, okay, now I can join. But actually, there I had to face the real opposition of my parents, because when I told them that after high school I would have liked to join the religious life with the Franciscans, they started to fight, really.
Oh my God, fight you?
Yeah,
wow.
horribly harsh against me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was still young also.
Unico hijo. How do you say that in Italian? Unico hijo in Spanish?
Figlio unico. Figlio unico.
Yes,
Yeah.
See.
So, I had very difficult times, and I realized there was something also in me I wasn't completely sure, because I liked the Franciscan way of life, but in a way I had difficulties to find it as mine. And also I remember the Franciscan friar that was following me. He always, he accepted me, but he always said, but are you sure that you are called for this life?
Yeah, because you were materialistic, right?
Because he saw me in me something strange. And once I remember, he asked me also, but have you ever think about Jesuits? Or he asked me.
He told you?
Yeah. But at that time,
That's a traitor in their midst.
yeah.
From there.
But at that time, the only knowledge that I had about Jesuits is from history, books of
Yeah,
history,
yeah.
and in Italian books of history, Jesuits are very badly
Yes,
represented,
yes.
very badly.
Yes,
So
they're really very bad.
yeah. So I was never attracted by Jesuits before. But I didn't know. I realized later my Franciscan spiritual director was formed in Ignatian spirituality.
Oh, yeah.
So he gave me a lot of things of Ignatian spirituality to read. I didn't know that when I was reading.
Why would he give Jesuit literature to you?
Yeah.
It was a signal. He didn't want you.
I don't know, but I read after when I reviewed this experience later. I read it as a grace because he gave me these things to read about Saint Ignatius, especially spiritual exercises, discernment, all these things. And so when I did enjoy the Franciscans after high school because I had to face all these oppositions and I wasn't strong enough. So I decided to go to the university. I started studying law.
Oh, wow.
So during I had all the I finished. I mean, all my I graduated in law.
So are you a lawyer?
I didn't took the bar.
Yeah.
I didn't take the bar because in Italy it's 2 years practice before the bar, and
You're like Sister Patricia Fox.
but I graduated. And during the university studies, I still have some contacts with the Franciscans, but I started to develop also other desires, different desires, and not for religious life.
Oh, wow. You mean women, desire for women.
Also, but also for other job experiences. I started to desire or academic
Career.
career or to become a judge. I would have liked to become a
good
judge.
one. Yeah, that's
not a lawyer, but a judge. I would have liked to become. And during the university, I had also many experiences volunteering, many experiences with the poor. I started to appreciate and maybe to think that I could have done that also as a layman.
Lay vocation.
Yeah.
That you can do a lot as a lay, even as a lay.
Yeah. So but I had always this kind of desire also in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to feel this real difficulty to reconcile the two things, all these desires. Because the desires for job, desires for having a girlfriend, desire for having career, and desire also for religious life I still had.
Wow.
It was my
confusing times.
Yeah, very confusing times.
So what happened? What was the turning point?
The turning point actually was when I had to decide. At the end of university studies, I still had to face a decision. What shall I do now?
Yeah.
But again, I tried to say, okay, I will join the Franciscans again. But I really felt that my life was very far from that at that time.
Yeah.
And also my parents again.
With all your
to fight.
desires, you cannot be a Franciscan.
Yeah. And so my parents started to fight me again.
Wow.
And so finally I realized, I told to God, okay, maybe definitely it's not my way of life. It's not my... Yeah. And so I decided to leave all this kind of vocational.
Leave it behind, yes.
Yeah, and I graduated and started to work and I had a girlfriend. But I was in this period when I met the Jesuits actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
In a very strange way, because a friend of mine invited me. I graduated in Padova, that is a city in North Italy. And in Padova there was a Jesuit community. And they had a youth center, and they had some activities. And one of these activities was spiritual exercises in daily life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so one evening...
19th annotation. The 19th annotation, yeah.
And my friend invited me once to go.
Yeah.
It was during Lent. And I went, and I remember I had an experience very similar to his, because it was the first time that I really...
He was also in shorts?
Not in shorts, but but I remember I also was quite conservative, sure about my beliefs. And I remember this Jesuit that he was having we call it a dramatization of a passage of the gospel. I mean, it was the betrayals of Peter. And I remember this Jesuit was trying to dramatize what happened to Peter. And so he tried to enter his mind, his feelings, in a very dramatic way, very theatrical.
Yeah, wow.
And I remember he started shouting bad words. Or
He started cussing.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I was really shocked at the beginning. What is he doing?
He's a priest and yet he's...
Yeah. I was really shocked at the beginning. But because he was acting like Peter, as soon as Jesus looked at Peter after he betrayed him, he was thinking that the feeling of Peter was rage. He was really angry against Jesus because, again he's forgiving me. Again he's forgiving me. And it struck me a lot because actually it was exactly what I was feeling in that moment. I was angry with God in that moment because he didn't tell me what I had to do. I was I had this idea.
God is always to blame for everything.
Yeah.
So, and then so you got interested in this Jesuit, and then what happened?
At that time, at the beginning, I was just shocked. I said, okay, I won't have any more experience with Jesuits. That was my first reaction. But actually, after that, I had the opportunity to go on a pilgrimage to Holy Land. I went with a diocesan priest, but this diocesan priest again was formed by Jesuits. Oh. And he had a very Jesuit style of conducting the pilgrimage. What struck me of this style was the way of praying, the prayer, the spirituality. I mean, a dialogue with God, a very honest, earnest dialogue with God. And in this pilgrimage, there was also a Jesuit. Okay,
they're everywhere. They're everywhere. These bad people, they're everywhere.
And so, when I saw a Jesuit, I had the opportunity to talk to him. I started to connect many things of my life and of my vocation. I started to think maybe this is what God is asking me, because this way of praying. And what struck me of this Jesuit was a very unusual thing for Jesuit, but was his humility.
Yeah. Ooh, that's rare. That's rare.
Very rare. Yeah. But this Jesuit is a really humble person. He struck me a lot because he's a professor in Gregoriana.
Oh, wow.
Very learned Jesuit.
Yeah, that's really rare.
But very humble. So also that attracted me a lot.
A humble Jesuit. It's like oxymoron already. Anyway.
Yeah, I discovered that.
Rare Pokemon.
So anyway, so what happened? You dissed your girlfriend?
Yeah, after this pilgrimage, finally I had a very strong experience of consolation because for the first time I heard that God simply said to me, not what I had to do, but He said to me just, you are free. You can choose whatever you want. I will be with you. If you really feel this desire of religious life, I will be with you. It's okay for me.
Amen.
And so when I heard that, I really realized, but this is what I desire. This is my real desire. Yeah. And when I came back to Italy, I started to have contacts with Jesuits because I wanted to know them a little bit more. And then started reading something about Saint Ignatius, knowing better about Ignatius spirituality, I was really struck. And I said, I discovered that very late, but this is what I was looking for.
Yeah. What about so you brought it up with your parents?
Yeah, it was difficult because I was already working I was apprentice lawyer, and I was having a PhD in criminal law. I had this girlfriend, so I had to quit everything. Yeah. But I decided to do that because I really felt the necessity to understand if this was I said, if I don't do now, I won't do.
Yes.
Never. I won't never do that.
So what did your parents tell you?
It was difficult because again,
they said no.
The harshest moments were in that period because I had to leave my job. It was a good job. And
you're crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah. They told me you're completely crazy. You're wasting your life. Completely crazy. Yeah. So,
what's the word in Italian for crazy? So I can use
Pazzo.
it. Pazzo.
Loco.
Pazzo here. That means fat.
No, completely crazy.
So they were against your decision, but you persisted.
Finally, I realized that was my decision, and I found it wasn't easy yet, but I find the strength because I said I'm really. Of course, I wasn't sure of everything because you are never sure of everything. Yeah. But I felt that I did really want to try. Yeah, I did really want to try. So fine, my parents accepted later.
Later. As in last week.
No, I can say after my first vows.
They were there to attend your first
Yeah,
vows.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow,
After
very good.
The very moment of first vows for me was a turning point for them because they realized that was definitive.
Wow.
And so he has decided, and after that, now we're. I would have never expected that, but now we're happy.
What about your sister?
My sister also, well, for her was not such a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
But she was just shocked and surprised because I never talked to her about that.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, how? How did it? But after that, she supported me also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many years are you now in the Society of Jesus?
I joined in 2010, so it's my eighth.
8
year.
years. What about you?
For me, I joined the novitiate 2006.
Oh, wow.
So because my formation is rather
Yeah.
lengthy one.
So that's like 12 years.
Yes.
Yeah, 12 years
I'm
already.
into already 12 years, my God. By the time I finished the theology and formation,
Why?
I go straight to the wellness center.
No, you're young. You're young. How old are you now?
I'm 35 now.
Oh, you're young. You know, I was ordained age 37 or 30. Yes, 37 or 38, I think. 37. Okay, so and James, how many years are you now in the society?
Third year. My third year.
Yes, okay. Perhaps we can, good morning to Francis de la Paz. The Holy Land, of course, is in Israel. So perhaps for our, for the young people, there are many young Athenians who are also confused like yourself. What would you advise them, in terms of discerning one's vocation in life?
Yeah. I realize that it's very important to be helped by the tools given by St. Ignatius for discernment, because I had all these desires in me, but I was really not able to understand what was the best, because there were all good desires, because this is the problem.
Yeah,
The problem
yeah,
is that
yeah.
the real discernment is
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
have many good desires. I don't know, having a family,
Yeah.
having a good job.
All of that, yeah.
Good desires,
Yeah.
all good. So it's not matter of think that religious life should be the best or the holiest desire.
Yeah.
No. What I realized that was really important in me was to accept, to see all these desires, but also to compare all these desires with my history, with my story.
Yes.
What my story is telling me.
Yeah.
Why I started to have these desires of a religious life.
Yeah.
In reading my story with God's eyes, because this is very important, not just with my eyes, but ask for God the grace of reading your history with His eyes. You can realize that maybe there is a call, there is a desire of God in your life, but it's not like, because at the beginning I was very naive. I mean, I thought God is happy only if you fulfill His desire. And so, what if I mistake?
Yes.
If I misunderstand his will? I was scared about that.
Yeah, if you do something else,
Yeah,
or if
I
you
was really
you
scared
go
about
against
that.
his desire,
Yeah.
Okay.
But so another suggestion, this was my experience. Another suggestion is to feel really the freedom that God gives you, the freedom that God gives you, and say, I want you to be really happy. You can be really happy if you understand your deep desires, but it's up to you to understand what is it. I can call you. I can call you, but it's up to you to follow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up to you to follow and to realize what your real desire is. Because I'm speaking with your real desires. So another point is, if your desire is consistent with your faith, what you have lived, what you have, your history, how you developed your faith, maybe it could be a sign. Maybe it could be a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Lawrence, what about you? What can you advise young men out there?
Okay. For me, we all have this difficulties, and we all have these anxieties that in life we cannot run away, or we cannot simply just do away with them. So
Face them.
face them. Just remember that everyone including your friends or the entire people on earth, have this experience. So you are not alone.
Yeah.
And then when you are discerning for your vocation, doesn't matter to a priesthood, to a marriage life, or a single blessed life, just be honest and sincere with your feelings. Listen to your hearts, and then be not afraid or fearful to try what your heart tells you. Then you will only when you try, you will know what that is. You know, so just
try it out. Yeah.
Yes. Just
what about you, James? What's your advice?
Yeah, parang similar to that. Parang to those I've spoken with, I've guided in retreats. Parang sometimes there's always that fear to take risk. Parang we want things to be sure. We want to know what's going to happen. But parang there's really that that you really just have to trust in the Lord.
And jump. Yeah.
And see for yourself how God would work.
It's a leap of faith.
Yes.
Okay, so we have a few minutes, but can you tell us, for you, for the last 6 years of your life, what has been the greatest consolation as a Jesuit?
I would have never expected that, but one of the best consolations that I have felt is with availability.
Wow.
I mean, this is quite typical of our spirituality, but I realized that in the very moments, I also in my Jesuit life, still short Jesuit life, that I have been really available. I received a really big graces, like coming here in the Philippines.
Yeah. Wow.
For me,
thank you.
Yeah. It was a grace because I could have said no, actually.
Yes.
But I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to.
Okay. Availability. You know, Father Emilio Zanetti is a very good friend of mine. You know him?
Emilio Zanetti,
Yes, Emilio. So, but of course he's assigned in Taiwan. Yeah. Yes, Lawrence. Greatest consolation in your life. 12 years, right? 12 years as Jesuit.
It's already 12 years.
Yes.
My God, it feels like it was yesterday.
It's
Time flies. Okay, for me, as a Jesuit, we still have to, Jesuit, but we are still human beings, so we still have to struggle with our own difficulties, very human difficulties, no? So what helps me go through with all these difficulties or handle my difficulties is a companionship, the society,
community,
in the community. I'm so blessed. All the communities that I've been to were all international. So I always enjoy like this Italian, Filipino Jesuits.
Yes.
And Jesuits from all over the world. Sometimes it's crazy, and it's to live with such multicultural background and the people, but that's the place where you draw the consolation. There's always someone next to you, and feeling your anxieties, your fears, your sorrows.
So the community has been a source of consolation for you.
That's the greatest blessing for me, the society of
friends in the Lord.
Yes.
How do you say that in Italian?
Amici nel Signore.
Okay.
Amici
I'll
nel
stick with
Signore.
English. Amici.
Amici nel Signore.
Nel Signore.
Yeah.
James, what about you? Your greatest consolation so far? 3 years?
Prayer and community life. Parang since I had my first Ignatian retreat, parang that was really something that really made an impact in my life. And of course, community life, having a companion in the journey where you can really share your true self, your God experiences, your everyday experiences.
Okay.
It makes a difference.
Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And yes, James, Lawrence, and Cesar. Yes. Thank you so much, and good luck on your studies and on your ministries. You're doing ministry as well, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you go to Payatas, right?
I go to Liwanag.
Liwanag.
Yeah,
Okay, so Sunday Apostolate.
Sunday Apostolic.
Yeah,
yes.
okay. So thank you so much for gracing our show. Until next time. And my dear friends, mga Katipuneros, I hope you have drawn inspiration from the stories of our friends here from Italy and Myanmar and the Philippines. Thank you so much for listening, for tuning in. This has been the Jesuit Hour, and this has been Father Nono Alfonso SJ. Until tomorrow, see you then.
The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.